Hello anybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Metroid. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deep. In the last episode, we actually finished up Maridia. We killed Dragon, and that was the third end of area boss. And in today's episode, we are going to be heading on down to Norfair. And the reason we're going to be heading on down there is because we've cleared out Maridia, we've cleared out Brinstar, we did the wreck ship, Criteria's done, but we never actually got very far into the depths of, well, Norfair. If you remember a few episodes ago, there was like 4, I think, or something. It was a while ago. We actually got as deep as we could go in Norfair, but then there was like all this lava that was blocking our way and we couldn't get through it. But we didn't have the gravity suit then, now did we? You see, the gravity suit has an extra feature in that it protects you from the heat of that lava, even though that's like there's other lava that hurts you more. Basically in this game, there's acid, cool lava, and hot lava, and cool lava you're protected against in the gravity suit. It's ridiculous. This is acid, so this still hurts us. Now you might be wondering what I'm doing coming over this way. I didn't explain it very well, but there was a secret passage under that Chozo statue that I neglected to point out the last time I was here because I didn't even realize it was here. Because hidden behind that Chozo statue, which had an energy tank, is all this stuff, all these walls and things. I'm basically picking up the power-ups that I missed or could not get on the way down to Norfair. I'll be picking up about 4 things. I'll be making a few pit stops, and then I'm gonna be making a little bit of progress into Norfair, and I'll see what I can do. Now, this room is the room where we actually have our stuff, where we have 2 missile packs. However, these missile packs suck, and the reason for that is, well, there are crumbly blocks for one thing. But we got the first missile pack, that's great. But the other one is on the other side, and the problem with that is if you scan around, you'll see you have to go through the crumbly blocks to get them. Which means in order to get that missile pack, you need to, I don't know if you can do this in one trip, but I think you pretty much have to do this in 2 trips. And that's just tedious and annoying. Get out of here, green space pirate. So I'm gonna go back up there, and I'll see you there. Incidentally, this isn't actually the easiest time to do this whole area. It would actually be somewhat soon would be the best time to do it, but the reason I'm doing this now is because this just seems like the best time to do it, just to get it out of the way. But there is a power-up coming up that would actually make that section leading up to this area a lot faster, but I figure while I'm here I may as well do it. I mean, if you're going for a 100% speed run, then you should wait a little bit until you get the next thing. Where the heck am I? There we go. So yeah, don't come this way if you're not ready to yet. But anyway, don't come this way if you don't have the right power-up for it, which we might actually be getting in this episode, is what I'm trying to say. Now, the next power-up that we're going to be getting is actually down in Brinstar, and I'm actually trying to remember which area of Brinstar it's better to go to first, and the answer to that is Old Brinstar, so I think I'm going to see you there. We also got the space jump, which lets us jump infinitely with wonky controls, and the plasma beam in the last episode, which just decimates everything, so, you know, it's great and fantastic. However, the reason we're here doesn't really require either of those. What we needed to come here, or to complete what we need to do here, is the gravity suit. So we're gonna blow out all this stuff, which will give us a path up. You don't want to wall jump up there because you can't. What you need to do is run, position yourself here, jump straight up, and then that'll fling you through there. And coming up here, this is where you need the gravity suit, because you need to get over here. Now here's a very unique room. I don't think there's any other room like this in the game where there are actually invisible blocks. Like, usually when I talk about invisible blocks, I'm talking about like fake blocks or like blocks that aren't actually there, but we've never really seen the inverse. And you go through all this stuff and all you get is a missile pack. And then that's it? No, there is something else in here. Hidden in this block, there's another missile pack. This game just confuses me sometimes. It just seems like this would have been a really nice place to put like a super missile or even a power bomb, but all there are is just 2 missiles over here. 1 missile pack and then just a missile pack that's boring. I mean, kind of a letdown because it's hidden in a thing. So if you come over here and get the... Wait. Where's the exit out of here? Okay. My main complaint is that, you know, it's kind of the general complaint I've been having with a lot of the power-ups in the most recent episodes, is if you come all the way over here, if you come, like, all the way over here and grab the missile pack, and there's just a bunch of missile packs all the way out of the way. I've gone over this so many times that I think I'm kind of becoming my own broken record, but we've nearly gotten all the power-ups in the game, so I think I'm going to lay off on that. There are actually only 5 missile packs left in the game for us to get, and then after that, 5 missile packs, 3 energy tanks, 1 super missile, and I'm not sure how many power bombs I have, but there are 50 power bombs in the game, so I'm not sure what my max is right now. And, of course, we go through these side hoppers, which the plasma beam can wreck. Of course, the plasma beam is just delicious to have at this point in the game. It just allows you to tear through these areas, and this is actually a really good time of the game to just kind of go and pick up a lot of the stuff you missed because you're just so powerful. And this is where we need to go, because this is where we're going to be going to the other section that we needed the gravity suit for. And there are sections out this way that, yes, they do need the gravity suit in order to get to. And that'll bring us down here, where there's this one block we have to blow open. And come down this way. Rolling, rolling, rolling. I showed off this room before and how you could get down here, but there's just water. But you need the gravity suit here, and I'm not sure why they need the water here other than the padding of just, you know, you can get down here with the power bombs, well, you need something else. But you run all the way through, and you get yourself an energy tank, so that is kind of a worth it trip. I'm actually kind of surprised when I was on my practice file how I basically needed most of my energy tanks by this point in the game. Like, most of them weren't superfluous. And I'm gonna wait until I get back to Norfair and get the last missile pack that I need to get on the way down to Norfair before I get on a different subject, but I'll see you there. The funny thing about energy tanks is, even though they're very helpful with, like, most of the bosses, that's basically what they're good for. By this point in the game, you have so much HP, pretty much every common enemy, you'll never really go past, like, go onto the second row of life bars. That's just how much life you have. But for the bosses, that extra health definitely helps. Anyway, we're coming this way, coming back to this room, this section of Norfair, mostly because there is one last missile pack I need to pick up before we proceed on. We come down, again, to this area where there are all these fire enemies that we're just gonna blast out of our way. It's so satisfying to be able to do this after all that. Well, I guess these guys were never really super tough. Once you get the Spazer, combat in general becomes a lot better. But anyway, the reason we come back to this awful room where there's crumbly blocks for all the platforms, and the goal here is to actually jump all the way up to the top. I'm not sure if you actually need the space jump for this. And there's a missile pack up in the wall, up in the top left square. Now that we have that missile pack, we can continue on, and I think we've gotten pretty much every power-up outside of where we need to go next. I'm not sure if you can get up there with some good wall jumping or just good jumping in general, but it's easier with the space jump. And now for the most fun room in the game, where we just run and explode everything in our path. See, if you were to ask me, I'd say that Samus is actually, she's even a better runner than Sonic, because when she touches people when she runs, they explode. When Sonic touches things, he explodes into rings, to be specific. But I'm not going to start that debate now. I'm just saying that running in Super Metroid, running in any Metroid game where the speed booster is a thing, is just so satisfying. It's so cool. But anyway, I don't think there's any need to cut now, because now that we've gotten all the power-ups, we're almost where we need to be. And I actually showed this place off before, you might remember, but this is kind of, you know, this is the more appropriate build-up. You're going to be coming back this way, particularly once you've beaten Dragoon, Phantoon and Dragon had a baby named Dragoon, also Fangon. That could have been a much more terrible name, but anyway, we come down here where the tiles are more melted. Here's the cool lava that we can now stand in like it's nothing because we have the gravity suit. And the game never explicitly tells you this, so it's kind of a weird thing. We can freeze these enemies that shoot things, and you could come down here before with the gravity suit, but you wouldn't be able to really get up here unless you could maneuver some clever jumping. But there are spikes on the walls to discourage like wall jumping, so you can't wall jump up. So I think it's pretty much necessary for you to have the space jump to have beaten Dragon to come up here, go through Ridley's open mouth of this statue, go through this wall into this more... It's less cavernous and more built up as an actual place. I'm gonna save for posterity. And now, we will take this second elevator. There is an elevator in Norfair that leads down to the deeper parts of Norfair, where the music kicks up a big notch with the percussion line, I guess. Everything becomes more ruinous, and there's much more man-made, or well, artificial construction here. These aren't just caverns anymore. This is Lower Norfair. Welcome to the final area of the game, I guess you could call it. You got this great music that was actually reused in Metroid Prime. I think this might be one of my favorite tracks in the game. Well, if we had to qualify it, it's got a good beat to it, I think. Now, you could go to the right here, and I actually am going to go to the right, because if you follow your gamer instincts, or your game-playing instincts, you'll come in here and see these gold pirates, but you shoot them and you're like, why is my plasma beam doing anything? This is garbage. Well, if you charge it up, you can shoot them and kill them, so that's nice at least, but this is to tell you that you've come to a very dangerous place. The heat is massive, there's all this metal construction in addition to the temple-like surroundings, but you don't actually want to come this way, and I shouldn't have gone through that door because now I'm going to have to kill everything in order to get out. The plasma beam still wrecks things up, thankfully, but you are going to have a challenging time. Just wanted to let the music play there for a moment. But anyway, my point was you come to the right and you're going to be faced with adversity, but you don't actually want to go that way yet. That's just what happens if you go that way, and you're going to have a lot more trouble with the combat. I mean, a lot more than you've been having in the other areas with the space jump and the plasma beam. No, you actually want to go to the left, which is kind of an homage to, well, the game in general because of how, what am I trying to say here? In the original Metroid, and in Brinstar, the game taught you could go left by getting the Morph Ball, and now that you come to Lower Norfair, you also have to go left to progress further throughout the area. You come to this giant vat of lava, hot lava that you can't touch or it burns, and there's all this stuff. I really like the aesthetic design of Lower Norfair, how there's this temple stuff, there's a golden Chozo statue, you curl up into a ball in its beckoning palm, and it lowers the lava for you. I think that's lava and not acid. I can't really tell. I just know there is a difference. Jumping down here, I think it might be acid. Oh, and there's a pit we can fall into. I don't think there's anything else in this room. Let me check. Nope, we are good. So you come down the drain where all the stuff fell. You look around, and I think these are power bomb blocks. But they're just normal bomb blocks, but that's fine because I'm going to be using the power bombs. That's kind of the only really good thing about the power bombs with how many you get, is that eventually you get so many that you can spam them to just kind of clear rooms, and it's great. It also makes the X-ray scope a little unnecessary, but what can you do? Now we get the treasure room music in this room, and there is a missile pack over on that ledge there. How suspicious. If you've been searching out the secrets in Super Metroid, this part is probably kind of obvious that there's a trap there that's gonna, that there are crumbly blocks there. But at this point, you've kind of caught on to Super Metroid's tricks. But if you haven't been seeking out the secrets, you're probably gonna go, oh, I want the missile pack! No! And fall down here. And all you can do is kind of walk. There's a door over here, but you're kind of stuck down here, and oh god! It's not a Chozo statue, it's the return of the Torizo. It's a golden Torizo statue. It is a boss, yes, and it is kind of like the first one, but a lot harder. I think it's also bigger. So he's gonna shoot energy waves at you that do a lot of damage, and they're kind of hard to avoid without, space jumping over. I think that's how you're supposed to dodge them. It's actually kind of hard to keep this guy on screen. He's a lot tougher than his initial counterpart. You can shoot him with missiles, but he actually sidesteps some of them. And if you throw a super missile at him, he'll catch it and throw it back at you. And that does about 50 damage to you if it hits you. However, you can hit him in the back with them, But if he catches them, you can actually shoot him with a super missile while he does that. Now he shoots these out at you, and while he does that, you can actually bust them open for refills and power-ups. The most effective weapon I think to use here is actually the charged up plasma beam, and that's your best bet when fighting this guy. However, if you're willing to take risks, you can still use the super missiles and just kind of spam them at him. Now this move I always take a lot of hits on because I'm just kind of a sloppy player, and whoa. If you're good, you can actually kind of, well, not do this because that's kind of, you can try to be fancy with his waves, but the best way I think to dodge that is to either jump over him or just space jump in the air for a long period. So yeah, he sidesteps your missiles and grabs your super missiles. This is why I think the bosses are like the best part of Super Metroid, because they have all these unique moves and animations and counters for your tactics, and they're so cool that they do that. Whoa, I almost scanned him, not that that would have done anything. Now I think if you actually shoot these all off, eventually he'll start, well, we've sapped most of his energy or something. He's fading in color, fading in power, and he's actually done a fair amount of damage to us. And he starts shooting out black balls, which turn into, I don't know what the hell those are. But it's okay, because we blasted open his chest, we did enough damage, and blew him up, and get a ton of stuff. You know, in the early game when bosses drop like a billion million things, it was kind of like, okay, I don't need all that stuff, but now it's not enough, and that's kind of funny. Now there is actually something we can get over there. If you jump up here, drop a power bomb, you can clear out the stuff, and there's actually a super missile here. So that's a cool extra prize, and that's actually the last super missile pack in the game. We have them all. There's also only 3 missile packs left in the game, or maybe even 2? I'm not entirely sure. But our prize for doing that is a new weapon, the screw attack. This might be the most famous ultimate power-up in the Metroid series. It's one of the most famous power-ups in classic gaming, because remember in the last episode how I was kind of talking about the plasma beam gives you mastery over combat, and the space jump gives you mastery over the terrain? This combines them, and now you can do both. This is kind of a bad room to demonstrate it in, but, well, let's see how far until we actually get a room that lets us show it off. Well, first, we want to get our energy back, and this is a nice little area that they just kind of give you that to get your energy back. That's real nice. Dumps you back out here, but Space Jump, it also tears through destructible blocks, as you can see, and this is why this room would be easier, or rather that room at the beginning with the 2 missile packs behind it would be easier if you have the the screw attack, because you can screw through the walls. Now you come in this room where there's all these enemies, and holy crap, screw attack just busts all of them, and it's amazing because these enemies have been invincible. You can just blow them open, and it's a fantastic feeling. Gotta blow this open with the... He tried to sneak up on me, but he didn't get away with it, so I blew him up. And of course, you're just kind of given a room to indulge in that, but there'll be plenty more where that came from. And I think we can actually get up through here. I'm not sure why we'd want to. Is there actually a way through here? There is. But we don't actually want to go up here, I think. But this is a good kind of opportunity to show off, to screw these guys. You can blow them up finally. Screw the gold pirates, forget them, but we're not going up, because we want to go down into the right. Hold on, I'm gonna check my map actually for a moment. Alright, I figured out what I'm doing and what's the last thing we're going to be doing in this episode, because we're going to show off the screw attack a little bit more. We're going to just totally jump through that room, and this is where the game actually, I think it gets really fun to control Samus, just with these jumps and this awesome... I mean, it still kind of controls a little bit like ass, and it takes getting used to, but once you do get used to it, it's just so satisfying to blow through everything in your way. I mean, you can't blow these guys up in the walls, but, well, that would be a little too powerful. The reason I keep checking my map also is because Lower Norfair is very, very mazy, and it's kind of hard to find your way around. Now, we don't actually want to go through this door. We want to blow our way up through here. And this will take us back over through here. And we want to come back through here because there's actually something we can get. We want to scan around here and kind of be a little bit cautious in how we go through here, because we want to get through there, but there are all those blocks. What you want to do here is blow this up, come in through here, and there's another missile pack. It's ridiculous, I swear. But only 2 missile packs left in the game now. I hope I've been keeping track of them, because if there's one that's just kind of been errant, just kind of errantly out there that I missed, that's gonna be hell to find. I don't even know if I will find it, to be honest. So we got these giant angry side hoppers here, and we don't have enough room to use the speed. What am I doing? I don't even need the speed booster because I have the screw attack. I sometimes forget I have it because it's just more natural to shoot. So the screw attack takes a little bit getting used to, but other than that, it's awesome. They brought it back in Metroid Prime 2, but it just wasn't the same. They used the screw attack more as a space jump rather than an actual weapon. Although you could hurt enemies with it, they generally did not explode. But I digress. We're not going to be going on deeper into Norfair just yet. I'm just going to be coming up here and saving because, well, this episode's been going on a while, even with the stuff we'll have to edit out. We made good progress into Lower Norfair, though. It's not actually that big down there. And yeah, we took out actually a fair chunk of it in this episode, but in the next episode, I think we might actually be able to wrap it up. We're going to be finishing Lower Norfair in the next episode, so if you want to see it, then I just hope to see somebody then. Bye-bye!